In today's video, an increase to the non-resident speculation tax from 15 to 20%, some of the background details, the exemptions, and how will this impact the Toronto/GTA real estate market at large. Let's get to it. Hello everyone, this is Sam from SaberiSixRealEstate and Remax Realtron Realty Inc. As always, you can find my contact information with regards to my office information and address in the description box, my social media information, and my Gmail. Feel free to get in touch with me with any questions you may have with regards to anything discussed in this video or anything generally speaking with regards to the Toronto/GTA real estate market. And if you want to know a little bit more about me before you get in touch with me, feel free to just Google my name and find my Google reviews, go through them and see what I've been up to lately. And lastly, before we get into the point of today's video, this is the favorite part of a lot of people who view this channel. Feel free to subscribe, comment, rate, and review, but you're not obliged to do so. Feel free not to subscribe, not to review, not to comment. I always like saying that part. Anyways, let's get to the point of today's video, which has to do with the increase of the non-resident speculation tax. Pretty much you can think of it as a foreign buyer's tax. The non-resident speculation tax was initially introduced in 2016 after a very hot period with regards to the Toronto/GTA real estate market. And this tax, which was introduced in 2016, was originally of 15%, and that 15% rate pretty much sustained until this previous week, wherein as of the 30th of March, which is at the time of recording of this video, yesterday, the tax was increased from 15% to 20%. And the rationale behind the increase from the lawmaker side of things, particularly the government of Ontario, is the same rationale that was behind the implementation of the tax in the first place. In other words put, increasing the tax from the original 15% rate to the new 20% rate is supposed to further help Canadian buyers. Now, that's all in theory. Whether it actually does help buyers or it does the opposite as is intended, that's a different and separate discussion. And I actually have a poll up on my channel. Feel free to go on my channel and vote on this issue if you think this is well intended, but it's not gonna have the intended impacts nonetheless. It's actually gonna hurt affordability or won't impact affordability at all. Or if you're on the flip side of things, you actually do believe that this is a good measure and this is much needed and this is actually going to help affordability. How is a foreign entity here defined? So there's two forms of foreign entity that is defined under this NRST tax and the verbiage of it. First and foremost, is a foreign individual not belonging to Canada. In a way put, they don't have any status in Canada. They're not a permanent resident or a citizen whatsoever. And the second example of a foreign entity is a foreign corporation. Here, under the Act, a foreign corporation is defined as either a corporation that has not been incorporated in Canada and a corporation that has shares available for sale that is not listed in a Canadian exchange. They actually further elaborate upon this definition, where a corporation can be defined as a foreign entity if it is by any ways, means controlled by another foreign corporation or another foreign entity. So think of it like this. For instance, you have a corporation that was incorporated in Canada, but it is a subsidiary or a sister corporation of a larger corporation that is a foreign corporation, or this corporation that is, once again, incorporated in Canada is controlled by a foreign individual. Now, a lot of this boils down to what's on paper and what actually occurs in practice. Off the bat, I can tell you it would be very difficult to discern whether a corporation is controlled by a foreign entity or not. And this is for your typical real estate transaction. Now, there are a few exemptions with regards to this foreign buyer's tax. Well, who and what are the exemptions? In short, here they are. First and foremost, if you are a newcomer to Canada and you apply for a permanent residency within the first 4 years of your purchase, then you will get some sort of relief or rebate. As a result, you are exempt. Secondly, there is a specific spousal exemption. So for example, you are a foreign national and your spouse is a Canadian citizen and you are both on the title, you will not be subject to the foreign buyer's tax or the non-resident speculation tax because of your spouse's status in Canada. Therefore, once again, applying a certain spousal exemption. But the exemptions aside, what will be the impact on the market, right? Because when this first initially occurred in 2016, prior to the implementation in 2016, the market in Toronto and Ontario, in the Greater Toronto area, was quite hot. Now it's very complicated to compare the highs of the market in 2015 versus the highs of the market in 2021. If I were to generalize it at a very macro level, and this is very general, but if I were to distill it down to a simple sentence, the highs of the market in 2015 more so occurred when we saw peak prices in the city of Toronto, in certain pockets of the city of Toronto where we still have not reached those same highs that we saw in 2015, even in the hot market of 2021 leading into 2022. Whereas in 2021 into 2022, we saw peaks more so in the suburbs, where we saw prices never before seen in east of GTA, in Durham, in portions of Peel, in portions of York region. And if I were to provide you with an example of an area that saw peak prices in 2015 before the implementation of the foreign buyer's tax back then, I would provide you with the following area: C7. C7 was a pocket that was very much so in demand with a lot of foreign investors. And when you break it down to property type in C7, it has yet to see some peak prices it experienced back in 2015, even once again in the hot bullish run that we saw in 2021 into 2022. So this increase from 15% to 20%, if it were to occur in a vacuum, independent of other variables and other trends, maybe the impact of it would not be that much, because initially, of course, when the tax was implemented, you can think of it of going from 0 to 15. Now it's going from 15 to 20. However, that's not what's happening. It's not occurring independent of other variables and other trends. It is occurring concurrently with other trends, such as an increase in inventory that has continued to occur. And I'm actually going to come out with some videos next week, maybe in the weekend or next week, going through condo numbers and freehold numbers in terms of inventory. But nonetheless, inventory continues to increase. Furthermore, another trend that I have talked about and has yet to come in a major way is the increase in interest rates, which thus far we have only seen one installment. There's a second installment on its way in April. We'll see how much they increase the basis points, but nonetheless, rates will continue to go up, inventory will continue to increase, and this increase of 15 to 20% is yet another measure that I believe will further cool down the Toronto/GTA real estate market. Anyways, let me know if you have any further questions. As always, you can get in touch with me with regards to my contact info in the description box. Go visit my social media platforms. You'll see more so of my business side of things, what I've sold, what I've bought lately. And yeah, feel free to subscribe, comment, rate, and review. Thank you very much for watching. Stay safe and stay tuned.